Ba-dum bum bum
You
boom
tell a
boom boom.
story. He
Ba ba dee
does too.
ba.
Can
Boom
he
boom
one up
bum
you?
bum
Well,
ba
that's
ba
up to
dee
you.
da. Do
Tell
do
your
do
best tale
do.
and you
Do do
never know.
do.
You
Ba ba
could
dee
be a
ba
winner
ba
on
ba
the
dee
One
doo
Upper
doo.
Show.
Okay, and welcome back to the One Upper. I'm your host, Ted Blazak. We're coming to you from a farmer's market in downtown Coeur d'Alene. And we've had another great guest come by our table. And what's your name, sir?
Brian Rasor.
And where are you from, Brian?
I'm from Coeur d'Alene.
All right, a local.
Yeah,
Wonderful. And I hear you've got a pretty good story
I do
for
have a
us.
great story for you.
Oh, let's hear it.
All right. So, when I lived on the East Coast, Connecticut, to go visit my girlfriend last February.
Last February,
Yep.
in 22,
Yeah.
February 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last February, not this February.
Yeah.
And halfway through my trip, that's when the war broke out.
In the Ukraine. So you're
Yes.
visiting her
I'm sorry. I was visiting her in Kiev, Ukraine.
in Kev.
Yes.
So, oh wow, okay. And and you've been planning the trip for a
Yeah, I was
while
planning the trip for because I visited her before,
in the Ukraine.
so I
And
was going to go back and visit her again.
and
So I was planning it again.
and what's her name, by the way?
Name is Julia.
Julia, lovely name. And so as you're going there, do you know of impending crises?
Yeah, I know that there was something that might have happened or that could start,
But nothing had started yet.
no.
Yeah, okay.
Because you never knew if it was going to start or
Right.
when it was.
Right.
They
I
were
remember.
they were
Yeah.
building troops since I think
Right.
it was August.
Right. There were
But
like
you never knew if
weeks.
it was going
Yeah.
to be in December, January,
Yeah.
or last summer.
Right, right. So so in February you go to Kiev. Kiev, I call it Kiev, but it's
It's Kiev, yeah.
yeah. Okay. And then what happens?
And then it was on February 24th at like 4 or 5 a.m. We were getting calls and texts that the invasion started,
Oh,
and that's when we went from where we were, and then we met up with some friends to figure out what we were gonna do.
so what were you like at her apartment or something and then you left to go?
Yeah, we had to spend 2 nights in the bomb shelter that was underneath the apartment complex.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So
You heard like um, the gunshots, you heard the explosions, fighting that was going on.
wow. So you're visiting your girlfriend, you're visiting Julia, you're in Kiev, and all of a sudden the invasion starts. There's drones and bombing and stuff like that.
Weren't any drones at that time.
Oh, it was
There was
just
just a lot of shelling.
shelling
Yeah,
artillery. And then so
artillery.
you had to go into the kind of a
We
shelter
went
in the
into the bomb shelter.
yeah.
That's when most of the bombing was happening. And then during the day, we would go up and go to like the stores and the markets and which ones that were open to buy supplies.
Wow.
You know, go up to apartment, restroom, whatever, cook, and
Yeah.
then went to do.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, and then we spent another night in bomb shelter, and that's when there was more shelling going on, bombing, and then Saturday evening, that's when we got out.
Oh,
Took
yeah.
a train rides that were getting out of there for free, so you didn't have to buy a ticket.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So Kiev went train station. Everyone's loading up in Kiev to go west.
Mhm.
Some other station. I don't remember the name of the station, but we ended up in Lviv.
Which is
Um,
still in the Ukraine?
yeah, that is in western Ukraine.
Uh-huh. And it was
So
safer there at that
then,
time?
no,
Oh,
no,
no.
nobody knew what was safe and what
Oh,
was, you know, the spot that was going to be bombed.
right.
So, where the invasion was happening was, Russia side.
Uh-huh.
So when we got to Lviv, got onto another train. We
Yeah.
were getting on that train. That was chaos getting on that one because there was everybody that was waiting outside of the train station to pile onto the train.
Oh my.
what I remember is a lot of the police and the military was checking the train to make sure that women and children uh,
Oh,
were on there first,
yeah.
and if men weren't, they would pick them up.
Right.
Luckily, I was able to get on there
Yeah.
and not get left behind. And you saw a lot of on a lot of platforms, people just left their stuff, uh,
Oh.
their bags and clothes and food and just all garbage, just all the stuff that they had on the platforms just to
Oh.
get on trains because there was no room.
Wow.
Elbow to elbow on the
Yeah.
trains. The
Oh.
train from Lviv to can't remember the name of the city that's next to Slovakia because we went for like southeast. We
Hmm.
didn't get into Poland because the word was it was going to be 8 to 40 hours wait to get through the border of Poland
Oh.
to Slovakia. So when we were in Lviv, we got on that train, and it was like a 9 hour, 8 hour train ride, standing room only.
Wow.
If that was one of them. Um,
Wow.
uh, and then when we got to the city that's closest to Slovakia, we got on a bus.
Yeah.
That one, it took us 8 hours to get across the border.
Wow.
Going, we had, move a little bit because they were inspecting everyone's passport on the
Yeah.
Ukraine side and everyone's passport on the Slovakia side. And then they were checking everybody's luggage too
Yeah.
through that, like customs.
Oh,
Yeah,
every luggage right. And
yeah.
you had an American passport? I
It was
see.
the only
Okay.
American on this,
Mm.
you
Did
know.
that help to expedite things for you, or did it not really matter?
Not really. It's just
Yeah.
escape.
Yeah.
I think at any time I could have just called the U.S. Embassy or just went to them. They could just got me out instead
Yeah.
of to help a friend and daughter.
Yeah.
So from there, we were in Kashik, Slovakia, and we stayed in an apartment for about a week,
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out what was our next. We're trying to find a bus
Whose
to.
apartment was it? Was it a friend, or was it somebody kind just taking
It
people in?
was one that we rented. It wasn't an Airbnb. It was like
Uh,
off Booking.com or
I
something
see.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Expedia
Yeah.
sites.
All right.
So stayed in that for kind of really quick for a bit.
Yeah.
Then we went from Slovakia to took the train to Poland, and
Yeah.
then from Poland got on a flight
Yeah.
to the Netherlands,
Uh-huh.
and she went to Portugal,
Portugal.
and then from my layover, I went back to Boston. So she's safe over there in Portugal.
Oh, she's in Portugal now
Yeah.
and she's safe
And
and
so we took taxis, and we took buses, we walked, took trains to get out of the invasion.
wow. Wow. So you are an honest to goodness you were a war refugee basically.
Throughout the war.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I saw the millions of people that were exiting Ukraine.
Yeah.
They were walking on the side of the road, their luggage, carrying their kid,
Oh,
whatever. It was just
or
funny what's going on. And I
it's
remember that when I was, because I rented an apartment that was in the center,
uh-huh.
so it was like 2 blocks away from like, where the center of Kiev was, where the main statue is.
Yeah.
When I was packing up all of my things to go from my apartment to hers to figure out what her plan was, all the sirens were going off.
Oh my.
Looking out the windows, you see all of the military vehicles and the ambulances
Wow.
and the police and everything that were headed to the center. And I'm
Yeah.
packing everything up, and the war sirens are going off. That's when I was lucky that I found a taxi from my apartment that I rented to hers.
Wow.
And yeah, I think like 20 minutes, and it's like over an hour to
Wow.
get there.
So I got just a few follow-up questions for you. One is when things are first going on and especially when you're in that shelter underneath the apartment and artillery's coming in, like how were you petrified? Were you?
Of course.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would.
Well, you don't know how safe that shelter is.
Right, right, sure. Or how
'Cause,
powerful those bombs
yeah,
are, where they're gonna
you didn't
land.
know which ones they were using. And it could have bombed the whole apartment complex that it just crumbled on all of us that were under there.
Right, yeah. Was this was this one of the scariest moments of your life?
Yeah, that it would be that. And the second one would be crushed under a car.
Oh, you were
Yeah.
in a car accident?
No, I was under a car working on it. Fell over on it. So that was
Jesus.
like the second. So this is like the first.
This is the first, and
Yeah.
that's um,
So if there was like bombing going off as I was under the car, that would be like the first.
yeah. Wow. Okay. You get combine them. Wow. Wow. Well,
Yeah, and then when we went to all of the markets to get supply, everything was picked over. What's one time we one of the days we waited in line like 30 minutes to get some supplies like water,
yeah.
bread, whatnot. And when we got up to the door, they locked the door because everybody left. All
Oh.
the staff left, everybody left, the security guard because of the war. Because,
Oh.
it's, like closed up. Yep. I
We
couldn't
got
even
it.
go in there to buy anything. They just closed up.
Mm. Wow.
Question. Like, did you guys know who was attacking you? And like, what was the word as far as like what was going on, if any?
We didn't really know like what exactly was going on. We just heard all of the bombing that was happening, all of the planes. We heard a couple of those overhead. And there was one night where we got word because there's on social media, you could figure out what's going on. And they have a different social media Telegram that's not really
Oh,
monitored as much.
right.
So there was one night when we heard that there was going to be like 18 like Russian fighter pilots, whatever, were gonna strike the capital.
Wow.
So that's when we like went down into the bomb shelter as soon as we could. Just
Yeah.
waited, we waited like 5 or 6 till like 7 next morning down there. So, and we like the bathroom, like right back down.
Huh. Wow. It's so I'm so glad that you came by to share a story, especially one so so current, so painful. There's so many millions suffering.
It's not stuff because it's work. I know someone who's directly involved in it,
Right.
so not like once removed or twice removed.
Yeah, yeah.
But people seen it on the news or something like that. But what people see on the news, it's only a small portion.
Yeah. 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 Well,
Now,
uh
do you have a story that can one up that story?
no, but I just want to say for the record, fuck Putin. You're gonna burn in hell, and you should. Um, but I mean, I've been watching this story unfold, and it's just
Yeah, when I went into restaurants or we went to some of the Ukrainian restaurants or shops, talk to the staff and, you know, what's your thought on it? And all the Ukrainian people, all they want to do is just live in peace,
right.
and just go about their life like everybody else.
Yeah.
So they didn't really worry about it because if they did, then they couldn't like live their life.
Right,
They
they
worried
got to
all the time.
function.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, no, I'm not going to one up it because I've never been in a war zone. I've never been a refugee, and I've never experienced oppressive military invasion of my land. Fortunately, and it just honestly, the whole situation makes me terribly angry to see and the only thing that makes me happy is how the West has coalesced and how strong the Ukrainian people are, and that
Yeah.
right now they're on the edge of the. We're expecting the counteroffensive at any
When
moment now.
when we were in a taxi in Poland, we asked the guy like how many people have came across into Poland, and it was at that time 3.5 million or 4 million. And they
Yeah,
were expected to have like 5 million
yeah,
into Poland. Uh, And the same thing with like the surrounding countries. There's like millions of people that went into Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
and you know, glad that all those countries around Ukraine are helping them out.
Yeah, I'm a Polish descent, and I've been very proud of my ancestral land, and I've made some donations to help out the refugees, and to our listeners, I want to encourage you to do the same. All right, we can't forget, we can't let people not remember the horrible things that have happened to Ukraine, and how we all need to pitch in to
Band together
push.
to help.
Yeah, we do. We gotta push Putin out, stop this crap from ever happening again, and
Ukraine is a
help the
beautiful
Ukrainians.
city.
Yes, yeah, it was a
Yeah.
beautiful country.
Yeah.
Kyiv. So
Yeah,
I'm not
beautiful city.
I'm not going to try to wind up you, but I'm just so glad we got to hear this story, and
Yeah.
I'm thank you
I
for
wish we had
sharing.
more time because I could go into more detail of some of the, each day event or after that. We don't have much time, so
Well, I appreciate your
next time.
sharing what you did,
Yeah.
and thanks for being a guest on the One Upper. And if you listening out there, if you have a story, especially about the Ukrainian situation, we would really like to hear it. So please email us at the oneupper.show at gmail.com, or visit us on our webpage, the oneuppershow.com. And before we go, Brian, you now you live here in Coeur d'Alene,
Yeah.
and things are completely different for
Things
you.
are completely different
And
now.
now you're doing some interesting
I
stuff
put on
here.
comedy shows
Yeah,
now
tell
around
us
the
about
area.
that.
I got my 25th show is coming up this Saturday
Oh,
at Coeur d'Alene Elks Lodge off of Prairie.
oh, all
So
right,
90 tickets. And
fantastic.
I have one June 10th
June 10th.
at
Okay,
Life Public House. Yeah, downtown here used to be Calypso's.
okay.
That was my 26th one. And I've done 5 at the Hayden Cinema. I've
Oh,
done 6 at Peddler's Ale House in Ponderay.
oh,
At the Pearl Theater in Bonners Ferry.
oh,
I've actually
okay.
done 2 at Crickets when I first started.
Yeah.
I've done 1 at Jacqueline Art Cultural Center in Bulls Falls.
Uh-huh.
Also in talks of with 7 other venues around town.
Wow, that's great. So
shows.
you're bringing comedy to
Bring a
Central.
comedy to this area.
All right, Central Idaho's
Yep.
you're in the Panhandle. You're going to start laughing.
Yep.
Thanks to Brian. All right, well, Brian, the best of luck with comedy. Best of luck to Julia and to all
Yeah,
the
thank you.
Ukrainian people.
Yeah, I
And thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it was great. Until next time.
Thank you.
The One Upper Show is brought to you by Trailblazing Canvassers and the Burning Sage Productions.